Well, hello everybody, and here I am back at school and in my office as we've sought this week to get everything ready for your children's return on Monday, and we're very excited about that. The Great Hall is being used as a testing centre, as you're aware, and a lot of that has been going on this week. And I want to start by saying thank you so much to everybody who has made that such a smooth process. I'm most grateful to the team here at St Dunstan's, who have got everything ready in such good time and in such good order so that we have been able to test nearly every single senior school student across 3 days. That's a remarkable achievement and couldn't have been done without the goodwill of staff. Also couldn't have been done without our parent volunteers. So many thanks if that applies to you. And also to all of you as parents of senior school students who wrote to give consent and got your children to come into school. It really was a very smooth operation. To the pupils, of course, as well. I'm very grateful to them for coming in, and not a particularly pleasant thing to have to do, but they did so with great kind of good humour and just got on with it. So thank you very much indeed. That continues. The whole process of testing continues going into next week. There will be 2 more rounds of testing for the students, so some disruption to lessons inevitably, and then we switch over to home testing. You're probably aware of this already, and your home testing kits will be used from then on. So 3 tests, 2 next week, and then over to home testing. But I'm really grateful to everyone and very proud of the whole community for making that testing work as smoothly as it has done. I also want to express my gratitude to you for your understanding of today, Friday, and allowing me the opportunity to bring the staff back in and to work with them to help them feel comfortable about the return. Inevitably there's anxiety, some anxiety there about the return on Monday, and actually just having a day to speak with the staff to help them get back into college, get used to their office spaces again, get their classrooms up and running has been really helpful. So thank you for your understanding as we weren't able to deliver live lessons today, but did set work instead. It's been a very helpful exercise. So we're all ready to go for Monday. There's lots of reading for you to do. I'm sorry, the bulletin is particularly congested with information this week, perhaps understandably. I would ask that you take the opportunity to read through all of that information. There's detailed information from the junior and senior schools there that needs to be read, digested and understood. And in particular, I'd ask that you sit down with your children and go through it. Because I do think there's a little bit of a risk on Monday that euphoria takes over. I'm hugely excited too, and I know the children will be excited to be being back with their friends, with their teachers, and that's wonderful, and we really want that. But we don't want euphoria to mean that people don't take the situation seriously. Staff need to be reassured that the children are taking it seriously, and so do please go through it with all of them, all of your children, to ensure that they understand what is expected of them. Their arrival times, departure times, as well as arrival points as well. All of that needs to be well understood so that we can have a really smooth return to school from Monday. Clearly, it may well be the case that some of your children are feeling particularly anxious. They may have had a very difficult time of it over the last few months, as I know so many have. Or they may just be feeling anxious now about the thought of coming back after having been at home for so long. So don't hesitate, please, to contact the tutors if you haven't already, your child's tutor or anyone on the safeguarding team, if that applies to you and your child. It's much better that we know so that we can manage that. We're very well aware that children will be coming back all excited, but under the surface, actually, some might be really quite concerned. So please do communicate with us on that. We've said before, but I'll say it again, that we're being flexible on uniform, particularly summer uniform and winter uniform. That applies more in the junior school than it does in the senior school. But I've said, because we're switching over to uniform from next academic year, please just make it last. Don't go out and buy new uniform, make it last, and we will be flexible in our approach to uniform, understanding that transition is about to occur. Just to emphasise again, our absolute focus next week is on socialisation of the children, getting them back into the building, being comfortable being back, happy to be back with their friends. A lot of work has gone in to the Forder programme next week and beyond to make sure this is such an important element of what the children have to feel like life is back to normal to an extent again, and to feel like they've got a real opportunity to socialise with one each other and just enjoy being back in school. So a lot of work's gone on there. I mean, that doesn't mean to say there'll be no learning. So we're not saying that. Absolutely, we will have learning going on, but our teachers have been directed to make sure that the learning is done in such a way that the socialisation is put at the forefront of all of their thinking. So I think that's it on the return. Do read the information that's there. I know there's a lot of it, but it's important to go through it and to go through it with your children. In other news, thanks very much for all of the activity and work that went on with Literacy Week this week. We look forward next week to International Women's Week. And again, lots of activities going on across the course of next week, so that's great. The parent quiz, I believe, happens tonight, and my thanks to the Friends of St Dunstan's for putting that on. Obviously, it's a virtual quiz, but we hope very much that that goes well. We start to take possession of the new build next week, very exciting. We take possession of it floor by floor. I think we get the top floor next week, and so tours really do start now, especially with pupil return. So Pupil Parliament have their tour next week, and then we start to roll it out. I know Year 11 in particular have been earmarked for tours over the next 2 or 3 weeks because they will want to see their new sixth form centre, and we understand that. So that's happening over the next 2 or 3 weeks. We also start to turn attention now to the significant amount of work we have to do over the Easter holiday, in particular the creation of our new music department, the beginnings of our performing arts centre. There's a lot of work taking place over Easter, in particular on the recital room. Well, not just the recital room, lots of elements to do with the music department, but there's an exciting recital room being built. There's one thing that's going to be missing from that recital room at the moment, which is a grand piano. We really need a grand piano in that recital room to finish it off. I'm looking at ways we might be able to fundraise for a really fine grand piano in there. It will look splendid and be a beautiful addition. However, the reason I mention it now is because we have a lot of parents who know a lot of different people, and I'm very well aware of the fact that often families find themselves in situations where there is a grand piano and actually there isn't space for it, or it's not being used anymore, or you just don't need it anymore. If you know anyone who has we want a really good grand piano, who has a grand piano and is looking to get rid of it, or even to sell it on maybe, please would you be in touch with me directly so that we can talk about that, because it would be really lovely to come back after Easter to that brand new music department and to find the recital room with a lovely grand piano in it. So there are other means at my disposal to try and find enough money for a grand piano, but they're expensive things. So if anyone knows anyone else who has access to a grand, do please get in touch with me. A bit of an unusual request at the end of my bulletin this week, but I'm sure you'll understand why I've said it. So I hope you're all well. Enjoy the weekend. Look forward to the return on Monday. Thanks so much for your support, particularly with the testing. And here's to a return to on-site activity from Monday. Thanks very much.